Hello, welcome back to Panoply Pictures. It's a bit stormy here today. It was what was it, 36 degrees today here in Australia. Hot as hell. A mate of mine was working on a building site, reckoned it went to 45, so that's hot. So let's talk about where we sort of are here in this film. So I think the last time we were talking, or I was talking, was about death sort of stuffing up and needing someone to kind of fix up his mistakes almost. So, and I think that's kind of where we can sort of keep going here a little bit. So what I like to do sometimes, not always, just sometimes, create like the subplot. So a subplot for death is that they are trying to fix their mistakes. Now, I kind of thought that what we could do here is give our main character like some sort of like illness that is not necessarily like life-threatening, but uncomfortable. So like there are some sort of things that you can have that aren't going to necessarily end your life sort of straight away or anything, but can still make your life sort of really uncomfortable so that you don't really feel like living anymore even. So I thought we could play with that idea a little bit. I'm not sort of wholly sold on that one yet. I don't really know. So it's ideally like a love story, right? So we have to have some sort of love story sort of narrative, and that's why I kind of thought that he could have like, or she could have like a partner and all that sort of stuff. But what would Death's love story be? Do you know what I mean? Like if the whole thing's about love or everlasting love or whatever it is, you know. And that's what I've got to kind of really work out what the central theme is, and you know, I'd like you to help me in that regard as well. Because I kind of need that to sort of happen. So, because like everybody's kind of got to like, or maybe it's like finding the thing you love, you know. It could be that burning desire to try to achieve those sort of things that you don't really have yet. I mean, and unfortunately, this is kind of what writing's like, is you do spend a lot of time staring at the wall, walking around. But I got some really good advice when I was quite young and in an art class, and I was just sort of sitting there and I couldn't think of what to draw. I'm not a good drawer. I have a book on how to learn how to draw and stuff, but most of my storyboards are like, they're just stick figures, you know, really they're not, it's not great. But it's enough so that the DOP or whoever can kind of look at it and work out what's going on. If I have like a proper artist come on board and do it, then you know, they have a guide of whatever I've kind of scratched together on a bit of paper or whatever. We also have like books available where it's just set up where you can draw it in there and then write the, you know, what you think the aperture should be, the, you know, ISO, all that sort of stuff, you know, what kind of lens you think, what you sort of want to try and get out of that shot to try and portray more cinematic language. So if you want to check out that, we've got an Amazon store there. I should start putting all these links in the description. So yeah, I have had some sort of thoughts, but you know, they're always like 3 a.m. thoughts, and I quite often just go, oh, I'll remember them, but I forgot to write these ones down. And the general rule there is if you don't write down your idea, you never had it, because you're going to forget it. It's just going to be something else then. So I don't really know. Like I said, I want to make this a love story, but like almost like a sci-fi action as well, because that's the stuff I like to do, you know. So, and I've never really like I've done quite a lot of love stories actually, and I think it's because that wanting somebody or like seeking to be desired is such a human thing. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's not love. Maybe it's desire. maybe it's a desire to be seen. And as a consequence of that is to be sort of loved. So maybe, that could actually work, right? Like, because death in this movie is a bit of a fuck up, right? So if death's a bit of a fuck up, and maybe our main character isn't necessarily a sort of a fuck up, but sorry, Aussie. Maybe they're at that sort of point in their life where they're like, things haven't quite worked for them yet, things are still still trying to get there, and then death comes along and just takes it out from underneath them, and then maybe they sort of, then have to start helping those other people around them while they can still remember who everybody is and help set their lives so that they have a good life down the track. I think maybe like something like that could kind of work for our main sort of character. I've changed it so I'm looking up now when I write stuff. Do you know they do say that if your monitor's down and you're looking down, it makes you sleepy and less productive, but if your monitor's up and you've got to look up to it, it makes you more productive because you're up and you're looking for things. And I guess that's kind of like primal. I don't know, it could just be all bullshit. Anyway, so where did we actually get to here? Oh yes. I originally had on this earlier version, because I've kind of been playing with this idea for a little bit now. Had it in an earlier version where our main character was like a debt collector and would go around and then, sort out that, and then that started off a series of events that led to this eventual death of our main character, and then transitioning into being a death hitman type person. But I think we should just get there faster, right? I mean, I kind of really hate those movies. Well, not hate. I mean, I don't really hate any movies. Some I can watch more than once. Some I can't watch once. But I always think that, hey, man, you made a movie, good on you. You went through that, because if you've made a movie, you know how hard it is to get one up and running and out on the screen. So it's not an easy business at all. There's not a lot glamorous about the film industry. The red carpet's about the only glamorous thing. Everything else is just grinding away, which is okay. That's what we all sign up for with any kind of work, right? So yeah, I think that we just need to get into this a bit sooner, because I just don't like it when you're watching a movie and then suddenly they get their full powers and everything's great, and then it's just roll credits, and then you just go, well, all that is really as a movie set up for the next movie, right? Like to a sequel one. So I really don't want that to be sort of the case. Sorry, I have my earphones in from before. So I think we just need to get there a little bit sooner. So that's why I kind of have this happening earlier. So this first part here will be, like first 15, 20 minutes maybe, I don't know, like I originally had it that they had MMA friends, and they were fighting in the gym, and then, it could be telling about, I don't know, something going on or whatever. I always just sort of, am my friends? Well, that's not right. But I don't know, like, it's kind of like we want him to have abilities, but maybe he's not that good at MMA, and I kind of like the idea of them being like some sort of underground fights that are going on, that maybe some of the people that they train with go to these MMA fights and then make money in the pits, like the old pit fighting type thing going on. I don't even know if they do that anymore. I guess they just put it on YouTube and call it stuff. Oh, I saw this other one. What was it? Bare knuckle MMA, and it was on concrete and no rounds. So it's like the round starts and then you fight to your finish, and this is like, yeah, that's pretty rough. That's pretty close to just a straight pit fight. But I thought it could be funny in a way that there could be a moment where when our main character is materializing and not materializing, and learning how that they could sort of like stop things and not even appear there. Like we could have a thing where somebody throws a punch and they stop the punch, and then they're friends like this, and then friend doesn't know, but then just sort of fights. Or the other person goes to throw a kick, and our hero comes and taps their foot out from underneath them, and then they fall over, and then just to help them out so that our friends' main characters don't really get that hurt or whatever. So that's just like an idea that I've sort of been playing with there. So we'll just sort of see how that goes. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you think. That's really what this is about. I want to write the movie with you and then just take it down the track, and then we'll make the movie together, hopefully. And if not, then we'll, like, if and when this movie happens, hopefully. What I thought about doing is setting up like a streaming thing so you can watch a film being made live. Probably not for the whole film because that would get a bit sort of boring, but maybe for like half hour here, half hour there, or an hour or whatever. I'll talk to some social media person. They'll have more advice than me. I'm not really social media. I don't have any social media. So let's see what that sort of comes out like. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe, and I will talk to you later.